Welcome to the Make Each Click Count podcast. It's your host, Andy Splichal, and we are happy to welcome this week's guest to discuss today's topic, which is Google Shopping, Performance Max or Standard Shopping. Which should you use? Today's guest has a proven track record for driving online success for both online and brick and mortar businesses. His passion lies in crafting effective strategies that resonate with audiences and delivering measurable results. He is also the newest contributor to Make Each Click Count University. A big welcome to Jeff Pratt. Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Andy. How's it going today?
Good. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, no, happy to be here.
So, in this episode, we're going to talk about Google Shopping and specifically Performance Max Google Shopping campaigns versus standard shopping. For those listeners that may not know, and you probably don't if you're not, actively using Google Shopping, but for people who don't know, what is the difference between Performance Max and standard shopping?
Yeah, of course. For shopping campaigns, they allow advertisers to show their products on the shopping tab on Google, as well as the search results page. This campaign type really does a great job of showing the product details before the user clicks on the ad. And then for the Performance Max campaign, it's like an all-in-one campaign that allows advertisers to show across all of Google's placements. So think of it like display, Gmail, YouTube, shopping, and even the search function as well. So the Performance Max uses that smart bidding strategy to help optimize towards those specific conversions that you have set up.
Now, which do you prefer out of the two? What do you set your clients up with normally?
Yeah, I prefer the Performance Max campaign over the shopping campaign, and here's why. I mean, I like that the Performance Max campaign allows you to reach the buyer across every point of the buyer's journey. So you get to reach them at the top of the funnel with the display aspect, and then you get to hit them in their Gmail, and then you get to get in front of them in front of their YouTube videos, and then you hit them at the bottom of the funnel when they're on their Google search. So I feel this strategy does a great job of having the advertiser get their message across in front of that buyer at the right time, leading to more overall sales.
And how do you affect, I mean, it's got more overall sales is what you're looking for. What
Mhm.
about the client who is more, ROAS conscious? They're really wanting to as high a profitability as possible.
Yeah, I think that then you might be able to lean more towards that shopping campaign but we also the Performance Max allows you to have that return on ad spend or return on action as well. So you can set those different limits on either of the campaigns, and so I think both of them could be a great opportunity for somebody trying out the e-commerce side of things.
You took it right out of my mouth. That was going to be my next question is there's two different bid strategies. I don't know if you call them strategies, almost advisements for Google, but there is the maximize conversion with maximize value, and there is maximize um, conversion. I'm sorry, maximize conversion value and maximize conversion. And so you can either set a maximum value of action you want taken, or an advertiser, you can set a target ROAS.
Mhm.
Which of these two do you prefer? Which do you typically use?
Yeah, I personally like the maximize conversion option the best. The reason being is I want Google to get as every conversion action that I have set up in my account. I usually don't like to set up too many conversions that aren't very important to the businesses. And I find when you put on parameters for Google to focus on certain conversions, it actually limits your ads to the point where you're leaving valuable users on the table. And you might not, yeah, you might get a few more of those conversions you value more, but you're leaving a lot of those other conversions out. So I usually like to go with the maximized conversions because I'm trying to get as many conversions as I can from my ad spend.
I recently added a new masterclass inside Make Each Click Count University where it shows how you can, I don't know, you call it Jimmy rig the system to only show Performance Max ads in the shopping network. Have you ever done that?
I have not tested out that yet. Have you found out that that's been helpful for you, or I would love to check out that masterclass as well to see if that's been helpful for your clients as well.
Yeah, it really depends on the clients who are profitability conscious. So
Hmm.
it only allows, it's not one of the things with Performance Max is it's going to take over your search campaigns except for your exact match. And then it's starting to send display ads and even retargeting. But
Yeah.
this is going to only allow it to be inside of the shopping network.
Okay.
And so I found it to be much more profitable. I just don't know how many sales maybe it's not getting coming out of those other networks. I mean, I'm still I usually don't run display ads, but I'm still running some good search campaigns, usually with exact
Okay.
and phrase. Um, Now, one thing I'm wondering about it, and I'm not sure if you haven't used that, you might not know, but you can set up a manual shopping campaign. I don't know if you've ever done this one where instead of manually bidding, you set up an ROAS guidance, and automated bid strategies. Did you use that before you went to Performance Max?
I have not had too much experience with the manual shopping campaign as well, but that definitely sounds like something to try out with some of the clients there.
Well, that I just didn't know if what the difference is if you limit the Performance Max by yeah, I don't know. But very interesting, very interesting. Let's talk about your master class. I'd mentioned that you are, the newest contributor to Make Each Click Count University, and you have your master class is configuring a successful Google Performance Max campaign in 2024. Quickly, can you take us through that master class and what someone could expect to learn from it?
Yeah, of course. In my masterclass, I walk you through step by step on how to set up that successful Performance Max campaign for your e-commerce business. But I also go through all the settings, as well as some best practices to get the most out of that Performance Max campaign. Because as we know, there's so many different settings that go on in different Google campaigns, and so it kind of be a little bit overwhelming. But with some of those best practices, you don't have to guess. You can just kind of fill it out with the video that I provide, and then you should be able to have a successful Performance Max campaign ready to go.
I'm curious if somebody is new to Google and they're trying to set it up. I mean, how would they even know what settings to choose?
That's a good question. I think you got to use YouTube University here and to figure out where you'd be able to find out those different settings. And a lot of them just kind of come from the experience of being in the digital advertising world and trying out, like you said, those different type of settings you have on your campaigns. And it could be pretty stressful for somebody who's new to Google Ads and seeing all these different clicks and these different buttons to click and but that's where you definitely have to lean on somebody who's been through it before.
For sure. And I mean, I know you probably have similar stories, but I have somebody who came with me who set it up on their own, and they set a $100 a day budget, and
Oh wow.
just yeah, I mean, they didn't know. They
Yeah,
just, they were doing, but they went and they did it. They launched their campaign. They did some settings, and then they did something else. They got busy and they didn't check it for like 2 weeks.
oh wow. Okay.
And one thing people should know, I mean, if you give Google money to spend, they typically spend it.
They'll spend it.
Yeah, and so oh yeah, I did that Google campaign. I haven't seen any results. Let me go check it. And they went in there and they had spent $1,400
Oh wow.
and no conversions. So, I mean, your master class is great to make sure that people do set up Performance Max
Exactly.
correctly.
That's why you got to lean on the people who might know a little bit more than you.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Now, tell me, you run um, Google campaigns for private clients as well?
Yes.
And how long have you been doing that?
I've been in the digital advertising realm about 3 years now. So it's just about 3 years I've been running for some clients here and there.
Great. And tell me what type of services are you currently offering for your clients?
Yeah, I do two main types of services. I do social media advertising, which includes the Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. I've been getting into TikTok a lot lately, and it's been seeing some great stuff from there. But I'm also into Google and Bing advertising as well. So I find those are the platforms that find the greatest success for my clients.
And TikTok, that's interesting. That's a very new one. Have you found that certain um, types of e-commerce products, certain verticals perform better than others using that?
Yeah, I would say I don't find a certain type of product that works best, but the type of creative that works best is just it's just mainly for awareness focus. You don't really find much conversions coming from there. So just trying to get your name in front of as many people on TikTok. But it doesn't do a great job of getting those hard sales leads that we like to get from, advertising here. But it's a great way to get in front of as many people as you can with that small budget on TikTok.
And I mean, we're getting a little off track, but I'm so curious about new advertising methods. What kind of is it? I assume it's videos you're using to put on
Yeah.
TikTok.
So
Where are you getting that creative content from?
usually I have the client who have created it before, or I've outsourced it through like a different website like Fiverr or something like that to get a video. But just having, that 15-second video is all you really need. Doesn't need to be too long. But just usually having the client provide it. They usually have some sort of video that they have taken around their business or whatnot, or type of products that they have, and utilize that to use for the advertising.
And then the other, you said you're doing Google and you're doing Bing. Do you take advantage of the importing Google Merchant Center products directly into Bing, or do you do different downloads into each?
Yeah, I've done the Merchant Center for both Google and Bing, and I find that's a great way to really get those specific products in front of the right people. Kind of like, for example, like a dealership would use vehicle listing ads, and that's very similar to those shopping ads. And kind of connecting the inventory or whatever products you have is a great way to get in front of the right people at the right time.
And are you using the same advertising strategy in Bing as you're using in Google?
Usually they're very similar to each other. Not much has changed between the two different campaigns, so I would say they're very similar between the two of them. It just kind of hits a different market in the Microsoft area, with just maybe the different demographics who might be using Microsoft versus Google.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. I've found, and I don't know if you've seen the same thing, but some clients actually perform better on Bing than they do. I mean, there's not the volume, but
Mhm.
they do, I have maybe about 30% of my client base that does what better on Bing than they do on Google.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to tell like what's that driving factor, but why some people do better on Bing. But the best thing about Bing is that you're not paying a lot for those people to be heading to your website, or making that form submission that you're looking for. And just because the sheer volume is a lot lower on Microsoft, so you're going to be paying, you know, less than $1 per click, instead of on Google where you're paying $2, $3, $4 for that same click.
So tell me, what do you have a certain type of client that you guys specialize in that you if they're listening, they should get a hold of you?
Yeah, I think my perfect client is somebody who's pretty passionate about their business, and willing to try out new tactics. As we know, in digital marketing, it is always a changing industry, and it's important to try those new things in order to succeed. But definitely looking into different industries, and I don't have any specific ones that are need to be focused on. So I'm pretty open with the that perfect client.
Great, great. Well, this has been really interesting. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we wrap it up today?
Yeah, I think I just would like to share a quote that resonates with me, and I always find it very helpful in certain times. And quote goes, "As long as you're moving forward, you're doing the right thing." And I like this quote because it reminds me to stay positive, and to not get down on myself at any time. And just as long as you're doing good, and don't have to be looking at other people, and you got to be happy with yourself.
Yeah, I like that quote. I think it also, says you always got to be keep doing something, right? You
Yeah,
got to be keep moving. You're not going to get anywhere if you're standing still.
exactly. Got to keep moving.
Great. Well, hey, thanks for joining us today, Jeff.
Of course, happy to be here.
For listeners, remember, if you like this episode, please go to Apple Podcasts and leave us an honest review. And if you're looking for more information regarding Jeff, you're going to find the links in the show notes below. And if you're interested in his masterclass, visit Make Each Click Count University, where you can currently access his masterclass and all other content for just $19 a month. Well, that's it for today. Remember to stay safe, keep healthy, and happy marketing. And I'll talk to you in the next episode.